Hi, this is Edwene Gaines. I'm here to tell you a story of another thing that happened to me in Ecuador. If you heard the story about the shaman before, this was on the same trip. We flew in on two separate little biplanes to the middle of the rainforest to live for a while with the Shuar Indians. And we were instructed before we arrived that we were not to look into the eyes of a member of the opposite sex, because that seemed to be an invitation for them to join you in the evening in your bedroom. And so I was very careful. I had my hat on, pulled down low, and my dark glasses on. I was being very cautious, and it's a very interesting group, these Shuar Indians. Never been defeated, a tribe that's never been defeated, and they're still warriors, and they go out every day and they gather their own food. And one of the tools they use is this beautiful spear that they carve out of this very hard wood. This one has a lovely snake carved on it. And I saw that spear, and for me, it was a work of art. And I really wanted it. And you know, in my book, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, I talk about goal setting. Well, my goal became, get that spear. And so, because I could not talk to the member of the opposite sex with my hat off and my glasses off, and I did not speak the same language, I had to learn a way, or find a way, to communicate with him so that he could understand. And so I began pointing to the spear and pointing to my boots, hoping that he would trade with me. Well, as a matter of fact, he wanted my boots, and so we had a really lovely trade. And I came home with the spear that I wanted, and he was very happy with his boots. Now, after I got my spear and I was showing it to other members of our group, everybody in the group wanted a spear. So they were all out trading their jackets and their hats and their boots and their vests to these other warriors so that they could take a spear home with them. And so we were all excited. We all got our spears. Even the leader of the group got his spear. And so when we were ready to come home, I want you to get the picture. There are 16 of us and 3 guides walking into the airport carrying our spears like this. We never gave it a thought. People were flying away from us thinking we were a warring tribe coming to the airport. So when we started to check in, the people at the counter said, "Oh, you cannot carry that on board. You're going to have to check it." So we were running around finding newspaper and tape to wrap these up to check our spears. And so I asked the leader of the group, who was also a shaman, would he like for me to wrap his spear for him and tape it up so that we could check it? He said, "Oh no." He said, "I'm going to shapeshift my spear." I said, "Okay, I want to see this." So I stuck with him next to him like glue for the rest of until we got on board the plane. So I check my spear in, and I stand around until he gets up to the counter, and he's got his spear there standing up so the person can see it. And the airport counter person said to him, "Sir, that is the most beautiful cane I have ever seen in my life." Now, that was a spear, but she saw a cane. I couldn't believe it. So, okay, wait till he gets on the plane, then they'll catch him. So we go and we're boarding the plane. I'm sticking next to him. I've got to see what happens here. He walks in the door with his spear held up right next to him, and the attendant at the door says exactly the same thing. "Sir, that is one of the most beautiful canes I've ever seen in my life." He walked on in, he said, "Thank you." He put his cane in the overhead compartment, sat down, looked at me, and winked. Now, folks, what happened there? Do you realize that your perception is your reality? How you see things is how they are for you. It's a wonderful thing to know that everyone may have a different perception of the same thing. Learn to trust your own perceptions. For you, they're real. Thank you for listening to my funny little story about my spear. I'll see you soon. God bless.